Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab. Well, I do what I do for you, and I'm doing it with the book today. I got a nice little lesson for you. We're doing our thing, rolling right along. Hope you're getting lessons. Hope you're putting them into use. That's the purpose of me giving it to you. Use them. Trust me, they work. All right, let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You turn to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get that together. And I ask the question, do you know you? Oh, you will when I'm through. Pay attention, do what I tell you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. Yeah, that's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these verses reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat be true. Speaking of Mayat, we got a goddess today, right thinkers. Let's talk about the goddess Hetheru. And we're going to go over to the three states of consciousness, and we're going to use the I as a metaphor. Good stuff. Let's rock. Right thinkers, here we go. In the goddess Hetheru, in the text from the temple of Del El Medina, Hetheru is referred to, watch this title, as having the same divine attributes as who? Heru, her counterpart. Okay? She is described as the golden one, and the queen of the gods, her shrines being even more numerous than those of Heru. His biggest shrine is Hetheru. She had them all over the place, okay? But Hetheru or Hetheru breaking down. H-E-T means house, Heru meaning you, meaning the house of Heru. Again. And the house, what? Above in the sky. The falcon flies the highest of all birds. So your spirit is considered the falcon, and you point up there, that means he's the king of the sky. He's the fastest bird up there, okay? And became identified like Heru with what? Salvation for each initiate who comes in to practice the philosophy. Now, in the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, the original book of was the basic instruction before leaving Earth, that's what we used it for. Why? They knew we were going to an afterlife. Okay, that's the whole point. Oh, there was a subsequent death. No, we know that death was a phase of life that to get you to the afterlife. They had it all figured out, trust me. And she is the one who urges all initiates to do what? To do battle with the what? The monster Apep. That's the demon inside you, okay? So as to what? Not to lose his or her what? Heart, as she cries out, take your armor. Prepare yourself. In a separate papyrus, you, the initiate, is told that Hetheru, she is the one who will make your face perfect among the gods. She will open your eyes so that you may see every day. She will make your legs able to walk with ease where? In the underworld. Okay, this is all the afterlife. This is where she runs. This is all internal inside you. Her name is Hetheru. That means Lady of Amenta. That's the place where we go afterlife. Y'all call it heaven, okay? Hetheru represents, watch this, the power of Ra. She exhibits what? Destruction. The Supreme Spirit. Therefore, if you associate with her, that implies that you're coming into contact with what they consider boundless source of what? Energy. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Energy can't be destroyed. It can only be manipulated. The spirit is pure energy, which sustains the universe. Right there, okay? Making contact with Hetheru also implies that the development of your inner willpower, which engenders clarity of vision, that will lead to the discovery of what is righteous and what is unrighteous. That's your discernment. If you can't figure out or distinguish between a liar and a truth teller, you're going to have problems. You're going to be led astray. You're going to be bamboozled. You're going to be tricked, okay? You have to be able to recognize truth from untruth. And a mind which is constantly distracted and beset with what we call fetters in life. What are they? Emotions that you don't control. Anger, hatred, greed, conceit, covetousness, lust, selfishness, etc. Those are all Satanian low-level qualities in a human being that you have to eradicate. You cannot live on them bases. Why? It's not good. That's why. And when you cannot discern the optimal course in life because of those problems, you're always going to have problems, fetters that you cause on yourself due to your own ignorance of yourself. It becomes weak-willed. When you don't have the willpower to do what's right, you're going to have problems in life. Why? Because a weak will, because the negative emotions, egoism, and feelings will drain the mental energy. It just makes you mentally tired. And thus, unrighteous actions and sinful thoughts will arise. And because your weak mind, you cannot resist them. You cannot. That's called addiction. When you can't stop doing something that is wrong, that you know is wrong for you, not good for you, you just can't stop. Be it a man, a woman, a drug, alcohol, whatever. But you should have willpower to know to do what's right for yourself. Unrighteous actions only going to lead to negative results, lead to adverse situations, and adverse situations what? Lead to what? More pain, more suffering, more sorrow in your own life. You got to pay the price for all those bad decisions along with the bad action. That's what comes with that. Good decision, righteous action, virtuous good deeds will be rewarded, not adverse situations. And during the Assyrian resurrection story, the Egyptian Tantra Yoga, you can look at the book. That's the book they got. I got that too also. But for more on Hetheru and the teachings of the Egyptian Tantra Yoga, that's the one with the sexual position. That's the one I tell you I didn't get involved in all that. That's the Kama Sutra for those who like to do that nonsense. Okay. But in your mystical philosophy, the eyes are understood to be what? The seat of awakening consciousness. This means I'm conscious. This means I know. Smell, see, hear, touch, and taste. This is the thought concept. There's 6 concepts to the eye. They only give you 5 senses, but the thought should be, well, I guess they think it was automatic. Okay? But when you wake someone up, what's the first you do? You look what? In the eyes. You okay? You woke? You woke? You woke? Okay, why? Because if they are awake, the right eye in particular is seen as what they call the dynamic aspect of consciousness. Hetheru represents Ra's right eye. And when she came, she did work. Okay? And Hetheru, as the right eye of Ra, symbolizes exactly that concept. I told you. God, Ra, has what? Projected consciousness, aka the eye, into creation, consciousness. And in so doing, the eye, aka awakening consciousness, becomes, watch this, involved in the various activities within the world of what? Time and space, because of the ego personality that it follows. Similarly, the human soul has projected, watch this, its image into time and space. This is considered to be the ocean of creation. And in so doing, the psycho, the mind, and the body self has emerged into what? Human experience And it's possible to have that human experience. The spirit needs a host, the body. So they got to go together. So the mind, psycho, physical, meaning mind and body. And it's possible to become human beings. From this process arises the possibility of what we call karmic involvement. You reaping what you sow during your actions, as well as ignorance and egoism. If you are led by your ego, you're going to have problems. End of the story. Now, let's talk about the 3 states of consciousness, and we're going to use the I as a metaphor. Now, the I also represents somewhat of the ego. I'm going to read this passage to you, where it says here, thus, through the restoration, when Hetheru got his eye gouged out by Set, he had to get it restored by Tahuti. And it's called the resurrection of your spiritual vision, third eye. Discovering the eye of what? Intuitional vision and understanding, a.k.a. human beings raising to the level of resurrection to be what Asar in what? Afterlife. That's where you get to hang out with him forever. They still hanging. But the ego in all human beings is what leads all of us into what? Positive or negative situations, and also makes a person susceptible to either pain or pleasure. Your choice. You can't have one without the other. 2 opposites come together. That's Maya. And you got adversity or prosperity in life. Again, you cause them. The eye of intuition of vision also protects, watch this, you from any and all adversity and injury. Why? Because once one attains intuition of vision, third eye vision, that inner light of understanding, it will vanquish all negative thoughts, all fears, and take away the selfish pleasures and desires in the human heart. Your heart will be purified, light as a feather. That's how it's done. All negative stuff got to be taken away from the heart consciousness, which could lead a person to what? Situations of pain and sorrow, okay, disappointments. All those things are done because of what? You doing something, looking for something in return. It also nullifies what? All negativity from what? Outside forces, from people or nature. Happiness comes from within. To maintain it, to sustain it, always from within. But which may some people seek to cause harm to a person either in thought, word, or deed. So therefore, an enlightened human being, aka sage or saint, right thinkers, you are beyond what we call pain and sorrow of life. How could that be? Wait a minute. Because now you has transcended your ego self. The ego no longer controls your desires, your wants, your needs. Your higher self is in control, and you don't need and want for nothing. Why? Because you have everything you need when you realize who you are, God. And in the flesh, in this form here, you get that concept and just live your life. Just do the things you need to do. With God consciousness, that's how I live. I keep God on my mind all the time. I ain't running around here praying the Lord, raising the roof about that. No, I just do the things that make pleasing to God's sight and to earn my what? Blessings daily. Righteous living. They tell you that all the time. I tell you that every day. So where we at down here? The metaphor. Okay, you can use the eye as a metaphor. Oh, I read the concept over here. Okay, yeah. The idea is to get the eye to see and know you spiritually, and every aspect of your character should be understood and mastered by you. Every God and goddess is an aspect of your personality. Start with the ego, and the eye is a metaphor. We got to do that right now. The eye, metaphorically, coming to the physical form as a lynx or a lioness, Hetheru transform, is a symbol of human existence. It represents the human soul. In the same way that the eye is the ray or what? Projection of Ra, the supreme being, The human soul is a ray or projection of the Supreme Being. Thus, the plight of the eye is a parable which the sages of ancient Egypt composed in order to be able to explain human existence and to impart the real knowledge of spiritual enlightenment. Ding, 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 ding. Don't just believe it. We're going to explain it, break it down for you so you can manifest it for yourself. For spiritual aspirants, aka right thinkers, excuse me, in this context, it is similar in most respects to other initiatic scriptures. Why? Especially those from India, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Yoga Vasistra. All of those are scripture. All those are books, okay? Enlightening, telling us mythological stories to what? To explain life existence from their perspective so that you can practice it and live it on your terms. That's all. That's it. What you do with the knowledge, anything you want with it, but not to have it, not good. But all these teachings, and that's what we're all about, teachings are given through what we call three main characters. I just gave you the story. Going through the book, excuse me. These are Ra, Hetheru, and Tahuti. Ra, the father, Hetheru, the daughter, the right eye, who lost her way, so to speak, and Tahuti, God's mind, to what? Help her get back on track. But all this is happening inside you. That's the kicker right there. So that's why I say the three states of consciousness. We getting there. Stay with me. I got a little more here to go. All right. So idea, this is all symbolical. But the teachings are given through three main characters. And Hetheru, who displays what? All three states of consciousness through what? The myth, the story, is to show you. And so doing, the myth outlines your three important states in religion and religious practice in a highly artistic and entertaining manner. They put it into story form so you can get the lesson, enjoy it, and incorporate it, and that way you can have understanding. But true religious practice is made up of three stages of what we call spiritual practice, also yoga practice, the same three. Watch this. As I previously discussed, I gave that lesson already. So therefore, it requires three stages of teaching or initiated education, informing you, enlightening you, telling something that you didn't know, okay, giving you knowledge. The first stage is composed of the events of the myth. Tell you about the story. Everybody know the story, okay, about Christ. Everybody got the story about the beginning. Everybody got the Bible, so that's what it is, stories. Okay, we got that. But that's just the first stage, listening. This includes the events of the story and the characters and or the deities within said story. The plot and the basic theme within the story is the second stage, is what we call the ritual. That's the morning service, go to church every Sunday. First Sunday, y'all do the communion, get to Christ, all that good stuff. Those are rituals. That's fine, okay. Those are the first two phases. Most Christians, most belief system followers just got those two things. And that's why I got a problem with those people. I'm Mason. I know some guys who got 2 degrees in masonry telling people they're master mason, but they're not. So you telling people you're a Christian and you haven't had your mystical experience, that's the third level of mastery of following a religious practice. I know that. Y'all are liars, perpetrators, frauds. Why? Because at the second level, you got rituals. That includes the observance. Y'all do that, the ceremony, the customs, etc. You go to church, yeah. But now, related to the myth, y'all doing that. The third level is where y'all fall short. And this is the purpose of religion. The third level of religion is to reach what they call the mystical experience. You do these things, practice these things, something will happen automatically within you. The Sutra will waking up, Kundalini will wake up. You become conscious of God. You will have understanding internally. And we call it the Akashic Record. You have access to anything you need to know, what, about you. And this third level, where a lot of y'all don't reach, is the true objective of all religious practices. As I tell you, I understand the purpose of religion. And when it's done right, it's a beautiful thing. Just like right in philosophy, if practiced and done right, it's a beautiful thing. It's all the same thing. Get you, God, to understand you're one with God. I don't care how you do it. Don't make a difference what you practice, you do. But once you do it, we're on the same wavelength. I met my pastor at God. Okay, moving on. But without making this transition at the third stage, your religious concepts becomes dry, hollow, and very ineffective. Y'all didn't bet in yourself. Y'all didn't doing nothing. Spinning your wheels, going around and around, talking loud and saying nothing, and more important, doing nothing. And it's dry and ineffective when people who only practice the first two levels of religion, the practice often becomes personal, egotistic, as well as dogmatic and subjective. You think and believe you got something and they ain't got a damn thing but a bunch of nonsense. But those are the ones you leave alone. I tell you, I know about them. Okay, those who know, those who don't know but believe they know, that's what makes them dangerous. They believe they know and they hard to convince that they're wrong. This is the breeding ground for what all your world conflicts between religions, as well as the basic one for me, the misunderstanding about what the true religious practice is really all about. You got Bible thumpers who swear to God, they swear to God, and don't have a clue and understand what the hell the Bible is saying. I have biblical knowledge. I can read and I can interpret and understand. Why the people who claim that don't know that? They still think the people in the Bible are real. I still freak out about that. I don't have that don't work for me. I just gotta let that go. Moving on. I'm about to wrap this up. Where we at? If you claim to be a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, and you don't understand it and know how to interpret the Bible, the Torah, or whatever, the Quran, have somebody who do help you. That's all you gotta do. Get a teacher. I'm gonna help you with right thinking philosophy. You can't just go learn right thinking philosophy. You gotta get it from me. I made that personal that way. That's another part of my ego. Okay, you can't do it without you. I'm gonna wrap it up with, again, the mystical experience. This is my part, what I'm gonna take it home. In order for you to know thyself, you have to have reached the mystical experience that's called pure consciousness, where your conscious connects with the higher conscious. Your heart and mind becomes one. There's no confusion between what you think and what you feel. They become one entity. Let me break it down for you. I'm taking it home right here. In the beginning, Hetheru started out one with Ra. Remember, she's the right eye. He sent her out. She experienced in the Garden of Eden. Long they were doing what God said, everything was cool. When they started to venture out on their own and started listening to the serpent or whatever it is, but they went against what was normal and they had to suffer consequences. That's the lesson. The lesson of the story right there, okay? All of a sudden they shame around God. Uh-oh. When you do something wrong, you want to do what? Hide. Moving on. So the act that they did was wrong. Simple as that. Once they did it, yeah, that's it. Now they try to cover it up. That's what most kids do. Ignorance. They don't know no better. If they knew better, they wouldn't do it. That's the difference. So in the beginning, Hetheru was one with God. And she experiences what? Awareness of her essential nature as being united with God. This is the mystical experience. Becoming one with God. That's the goal for all religion. That's the goal for right thinking philosophy. I call it knowing thyself, remembering thyself, but becoming one through awareness of your conscious as essential nature, as being united with God. That's called waking up. This is, in the religious concept, called the mystical experience. Okay, born again and whatever, anointed, whatever. But the mystical experience is only the true state of being. Why? It represents the full awareness of your spiritual self, as well as an awareness of the unity of what? Everything in creation. You become one with all becoming one. This is the true state of human consciousness. How many of us conscious of that fact? Not a lot. That's why I'm here doing it, but I'm doing, hope to get some more to be conscious of that fact. And this state of consciousness, aka being woke, is characterized by what? All pervasiveness, infinite expansion, infinite freedom, infinite awareness, aka total mindfulness, and you end up with infinite peace. Hotep. In India, mysticism, the states of consciousness are called gunas, or modes of expression, in which consciousness, God, expresses itself. Everybody have an understanding. God is mental. It's all up here. They call it the temple. Why? That's where God dwells, in your mind and in the heart. Those are two things that makes God who he is inside the human being. Hope you got the lesson. Hope you, more importantly, understood the concept with the I being a metaphor for what? Consciousness. That's why I rock it. Hope you get the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Right thinkers, in closing, may you all live to be 100. You know the deal with me, 100 minus a day. So I have none of my right thinkers who starting to understand a lot of things about themselves have passed away. That's what you want to have knowledge of self before you pass away. I'll be right back.